Ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to the 2018 PDC Austrian Darts Open Championships, brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation Europe. And we are here in the beautiful city of Graz. It's time to meet our players. Introducing to you first the PDC World Championship quarter-finalist and the reigning PDC Unicorn World Youth Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the Dream Maker, Dimitri Van den Bergh. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the winner of 7 PDC ranking events and a Grand Slam semi-finalist from England. It's the bully boy, Michael Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, the format is the best of 11, the first to 6. And your referee is the puppy, George Noble.
Well, I, for one, am very confident indeed that we could today witness something very, very special. Saturday's action here in Graz delivered 2 very big stories. The top seed, Peter Wright's defeat by James Wade, who is loving his time on the European Tour stage so far this year. And then, in the last match of the night, the official homecoming of Mensur Suljovic. And Austria's #1 was simply outstanding, majestic in his 6-1 demolition of Darius Labanauskas, averaging over 106, hitting 5 180s and giving the crowd everything they wanted. That crowd is back once again, and who knows what they could well see today. Dimitri Van den Bergh, the World Youth Champion, World Championship quarter-finalist, with the honour of taking part in our opener against a man who also set the bar very high yesterday, Michael Smith, 6 from 6 on doubles in his demolition of Michael Barnard. Rob Malarkey in the chair for this one, Paul Nicholson alongside me. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon, Rob. Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody's walking on air today, as Mensur Suljovic last night was walking on clouds. What an atmosphere it was for the last game of last night with Suljovic against Labanauskas. I felt really sorry for Darius.
First leg, Dimitri to throw first. Game on.
He was like a lamb to the slaughter, he was. But everybody's got a little bit of pep about them today, including the tournament director, Graham Fairhurst, who was walking around very happy. He's a very avid Newcastle United fan, and he's very happy to see that Sunderland have been relegated.
60.
Back to the darts. Not to mention, by the way, I talked about the 2 big talking points and also Smith's demolition yesterday of Barnard. Let's not overlook
60.
as well the very, very near miss for Rob Cross, the world champion, against Steve West. 7 match darts West had in that one, and Cross, a very lucky man to be here today.
Very much so, and sometimes
140.
when you get a little bit of luck like that, you can go on and win pretty big events. A bit like what Rob Cross did at the World Championships.
Well, yeah. I mean, he dodged so many bullets that week, or over the
140.
course of that 17 days.
Yeah, his nickname should be Neil.
Yeah, it's going to be hot today as well. It's baking outside, and it's very warm inside already as well.
60.
Very low roof here at the Steinmarkhalle, and it's just going to get very condensed and very tropical, shall we say, as the day goes on.
I just thought of another good nickname for Rob Cross. Could be Boris. Boris the Bullet Dodger.
Keep them coming at the Asset 180, at Malarkey Rob, at Official PDC Europe.
It is very steamy in here today. It's very hot outside. Very low roof, like you say, Rob.
46.
If these players aren't ready for the heat today, they're not going to win it. Whoever handles it the best, I feel, will win this.
Well, Mensah certainly in the frame, Michael Smith in the frame as well. You can make a case for plenty of players here. Several former European Tour champions. Wayne Jones, a man who didn't play yesterday, is here as well. He was given that bye after Dave Chisnell's withdrawal through medical reasons. And Bergh, you know, also catching the eye once again yesterday. Well, catching the eye on both days so far here.
110.
Good start for Michael Smith to leave a double. And missed one this weekend so far.
Yeah, it was a good day for the seeds yesterday, by and large, coming through, except, of course, the high-profile casualty, Peter Wright. Bergh seeing off Van der Pas. He was another one of them.
36.
6-4 yesterday. Smith looking at double 18, now looking at double 9 for the opener. And Michael Smith, the number 3 seed, has the early break. And Michael Smith, he was a very attractive price at the start of the weekend. Two-time finalist here, back-to-back final appearances, 2016, 2017. Had the misfortune of taking on Taylor and Van Gerwen. No misfortune so far, 180.
Well, earlier on this morning, I was having a chat with one of our backstage crew, Michael van Dijk, who was a very handy dart player himself.
Very tall as well.
Very tall indeed. And I said I fancied Michael Smith today, and he disagreed with me because of Michael Smith feeling a bit under the weather. He's got a bit of a throat infection, but in a funny sort of way, that might relax him a bit. He might just get up there and think, you know what, let's just do it one game at a time. Let's just do it one visit at a time. And he doesn't look particularly full of energy, Michael Smith. But sometimes when he feels like that, he plays brilliantly.
141.
Ton 80, ton 40, 141, 10 dart leg in the offing here for Michael Smith.
Bergh knows all about 10 darters this week.
100.
Yeah, he went himself on Friday.
Yeah, against Stevenson, very close indeed, missing the all-important D12. Michael Smith now looking at D10 and D5 for 2-0.
No score.
Well, he bust that, maybe.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do. Way ahead, Jimmy not on a double or any sort of finish. So when Michael Smith returns, at least he's got options if he does miss again.
Yeah, sensible play by Michael Smith, and he's having to go the same route here. And this time he finds double 10. Bergh was still on 198 anyway, and so far so good for Bully Boy here.
It's probably the worst 14 darter you'll ever see. Or the best, depending on how you look at it. 2-0 to the good, Michael Smith.
100.
What he would love for another performance like yesterday where minimal energy is spent. Being first game today.
140.
Yeah, it could be a benefit. He'll have lots of time just to regroup after this and get ready for the quarterfinals, should he advance. The schedule today follows the draw bracket, so the winner of this one, just to make it nice and easy for you, the winner of this one faces the winner of our next match, which features Joe Cullen, the number 6 seed, against Mervyn King, and so on. Quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the final from 7:15 tonight. 8 third-round matches this afternoon. Cristo Reyes as well, another unseeded player to come through, battering Jelle Klassen yesterday as well.
I was going to say, what's your favourite this afternoon? Mine, I just want to see Sulevic again.
Sulevic again, yeah, against Reyes. I think Sulevic will have the measure of Cristo in that one, although Cristo did play well yesterday. Jelle wasn't at Jelle's best
98
by any stretch, and it'll be interesting to see how Rob Cross responds after that scare yesterday. He has Steve Beaton, the world champion, takes on the number 15 seed, the former world champion himself in 1996.
137. 107.
22 years ago. Smith 170. Won't go.
He had a 170 in the final last year against Van Gerwen.
And what an epic that was in Vienna. Brilliant final on the Euro Tour. One of the best I can recall, actually.
Yeah, me too. I was calling that one and I was breathless by the end of it. 88 for Dimitri van den Bergh. That's now double top.
68.
They want that one back.
Yeah. Second serve for van den Bergh on that one.
Tops for Smith.
50.
He's been low on tops on quite a few shots today. Hasn't quite got his sights right on that one. Neither is Dimmy, so probably going to be looking at a 7 here.
Yeah, for double 16 for van den Bergh's first leg on the board, it would just be a holder's throw, but it would be something to work with.
It's not going to be a bagel today.
Michael Smith, a former world youth champion as well, I believe. So
Indeed,
I think van den Bergh, if he followed the path of Michael Smith in terms of, you know, taking it on from there, I think it would be a good path to follow.
Absolutely right.
Given everything Michael Smith has done, still much more to come from Michael Smith, I feel, as well. Much more.
We were talking to someone just before Dimitri walked on the stage, and Graham Fairhurst, the tournament director we were talking to,
59.
he just said Dimitri is just what this game is all about now.
Yeah, he is the Euro Tour personified, I think, as well. He's young, confident, looks after himself, plays great darts, crowd love him. I think he's just the ideal package for, well, not just the European Tour, but for darts full stop.
Yeah, talent, manners, passion, entertainment, he's got the lot.
Yeah, carries himself well.
137.
He's just an all-round good personality, I think, and a decent bloke.
Not to mention he speaks more languages than Jason Bourne.
60. Well,
Well, he's determined to have a go at this, isn't he?
Yeah, he's left it once again, and this time it's on. It's still on.
It's getting closer.
Yeah, van den Bergh on 288, but he went for it anyway. Might as well.
Yeah, it's one of those crowd-pleasing shots. It makes everybody happy, apart from the guy you're playing against. Single 1 for double 12, or 5 for double 10. Lots of choices. Back upstairs.
20.
Oh, I thought he might have bust that, you know, but he hasn't. And very much like the first leg.
Yeah, it's curious that he decided to, you know, not to do what he did earlier on.
Yeah.
58. Might you require 5.
Because this can be awkward. I say can be.
Big adjustment down to the bottom of the board. And he made it look easy. Number 3 seed for a reason. Maybe not playing his best stuff today, but it's definitely enough right now. And you can see in the air on the right-hand side of the screen there just how misty it is in here. Condensation coming in from the heat outside. Survival of the fittest today here in Austria.
Well, Michael Smith looked to be in a great position last weekend, didn't
60.
he? He was, well, he averaged an incredible 107.24, and he landed 78% of his doubles in that demolition of Ian White in the semi-finals. And then in the final itself against Max Hopp, he led 3-0, 5-2, 6-3. He seemed to be on course for what would have been his 5th European Tour title. But it wasn't to be. And you just feel with Smith, he's got something to redress here.
140.
It's only a matter of time before he gets that 5th one.
Yeah, I feel. I mean, we talked about it in Leverkusen. Well, when I was last on the European Tour in Leverkusen, I mentioned his. He set the target this year of 4 titles. I think it's because his record in a single year is 3, and he wanted to beat that.
140.
And well, he's got 2 now, hasn't he?
He's got 2 Pro Tours in the bank. Could have been 3 after last week, but still a long way to go this season.
140.
Top of his own personal best.
And he's still very handily placed in the Premier League table 4th, despite losing to Gary Anderson in Rotterdam. He beat Simon Whitlock in his other match this week in Holland.
To say he can't win the Premier League.
Well, yeah, he's certainly. He looks a good. Well, he's in a great position to make it into the finals night at the O2.
Bullseye. That one, as Dickie Bird would signal, is a wide.
Yeah, outstretched left arm there from Dickie for that one. Smith's reaction there told its own story as well.
What a
van den
steal.
Bergh, what a steal this would be.
125.
It's heating up a bit, and I'm not talking about the heating here, I'm talking about the darts. Double 10 for Smith for 4-1. Yeah, he likes it there.
Michael Smith.
Don't try that at home, kids, what he just did. Throwing the dart in the air and catching it. You catch that wrong, it's going to sting.
And Smith recently invited to play in the World Series events as well. That was another feather in his cap, just a nod of recognition from the PDC. I
wonder if Gary Anderson's going to throw him off another building.
Well, yeah, it was in Auckland, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
All in the name of charity. I think they donated £1,000 or so to the Parkinson's Trust. Of course, spearheaded by Dave Clark of Sky.
Someone's got to step up this year. I did the bungee jump in Auckland a couple of years ago. Michael Smith was thrown off one of the buildings in Auckland.
And John McDonald, of course, did his epic walk, or took part in that epic walk with Dave Clark as well.
Yeah. That was some sort of superhero effort, that.
Yeah.
I wonder who is going to do something daring this year in Auckland.
Should we toss a few names out there?
Well, you're never going to get Gary to do anything. He'd rather pay £1,000 to get someone else to do it, like he did with Michael. And Gerwin would do something. Absolutely. It'd be great to see him do some spelunking or something.
96.
Say that again. What was that word?
Spelunking. Cave diving.
Okay. Thank you, Paul, for shedding some light on that one.
There's 2 bounce outs he's had in this leg, Michael Smith.
148.
Very unfortunate. I'm not a great believer in luck in darts, but that is very much unfortunate for Bully Boy. Another one of those will be handy.
100.
He will come back though. Pressure will be on. In a big way.
31. 148.
Well, this would be for a break. And again, it would just be a little reminder for Michael Smith. Double 8 then for Bergh. And that means a lot for him. It is a break, but he needs to back it up here. He needs to start strongly in this 7th leg.
You notice that little exhalation from Dimitri before he went for the double. He could feel a bit of tension. This is one of the things I like about him the most. He knows how he feels in certain situations. He knows how to make himself feel more comfortable. And he goes on stage with a little bit of anxiety, a bit of nerves, of course. And he said that the dancing and the interaction with the crowd allows him to relax and feel a little bit better. But in that position there, when he's got 48, he hits a single 16, then he has the exhalation. He just feels a bit tense and just breathes out, lets the tension go.
60.
And he was able to convert on the double 8 the dart after that. And he needed to, because otherwise he would have been 5-1 down.
Yeah. I was just going to make the point before the averages, the first 9 averages flashed up there. Bergh he's got a tendency today to start very sluggishly in legs, and especially there where he secured the break. He needed to back it up with a strong start, but it was again another visit without
96.
a treble for him. Smith just rattles in a 140, sets the tone, and already has the lead here, and he's down to a finish first on the Bergh throw. The averages, there's a bit of a gulf between the two of them as well now, but the key here is that Bergh is just starting way too slowly. Somehow got the break in the last leg to keep himself going here, but needs to build on that and needs to just send out a message, and you know, by and large he's not doing that today.
Well, Michael's the one sending the message right now. Double 10 for a beautiful 12-dart leg to break straight back and put himself within 1 leg of the quarterfinals later today.
Michael Smith at times, those 2-dart, 3-dart combinations, you know, he's one of the best, I think.
Well, he's got a set plan, and I think you've got to have that. 55. I think James Wade was probably the first person to have a set plan of maybe 3 doubles that he wanted to leave on purpose. There's a lot of conventional ways to leave things, but
91.
On 62, for instance, which Michael Smith hit there with the last 2 darts, the conventional route is treble 10 for double 16, but he's so strong on double 10, he's chosen a different target, and it's not an easy switch from treble 14 to double 10, but when you practice it enough, you can make it a lot easier, and he proved that he can do that.
Yeah.
40.
Unfortunate Robin Hood for the Dream Maker. And that's the stuff of nightmares for him right now.
130.
Well, who's to say that Michael Smith won't finish this match with a 167 checkout?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the number of times Smith today has had a visit with 2 trebles. He's outgunning Bergh time and time again here. And it would be a nice way to wrap it up, Michael Smith. But it won't happen this time. But yeah, when he gets down to that 85, 95 bracket, you just feel that he's got well, more than likely he's going to take it out. He's down to 36 now.
Well,
And
what a
Van
way!
den Bergh, well, it might be too little too late here.
23.
What a way to finish this match.
Likely requires
Possible 12-13 finish.
Indeed. Double 9 then for Michael Smith. And
Shot.
Michael Smith
And the match,
sends out
Michael Smith.
another message to the rest of the field. Not quite as dominant as he was against Michael Barnard yesterday, when he was absolutely foot perfect on the double, 6 from 6. Not quite those numbers today, but nevertheless that's a very, very neat and tidy performance for Bully Boy. An average as well of just over 100, 100.76, 6 from 17 on his doubles. And I think that just sets the bar very, very nicely indeed. Just 2 legs drop this weekend for Bully Boy. He will face the winner of our next match, Joe Cullen and Mervyn King, on the way for you here.
Dimitri let me off a few times, got the job done. I can't wait to get back now and go to sleep for a bit. I'm dying, chest is killing, throat, but no excuses, I'm still winning, that's the main thing.
Well, as I say, no better remedy than that. I like it to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Dimitri Van den Bergh. I mentioned on your walk-on it was 7 titles. It's actually 9, isn't it? I do apologise for that. But you're certainly in line to make it 10, aren't you?
I could have made it 10 last week, and I felt like I disappointed myself. So this week is a big push to make it 10 and put last week to bed, because it's still doing me head in. But new tournament, new me, new opponents, hopefully a new win.
Well, it's always experience anyway. Every game's an experience for the next one. But so, going through quarterfinals, ladies and gentlemen, the Bully Boy, Michael Smith.